Good afternoon and good morning. Hello, everybody. I've no face cam on today because I don't have my camera with me. Well, I do have my phone with me, but my charger's upstairs and Mrs. Les is asleep at the moment. So today's mission is to continue off with the blue and finish off all the silver Necrons and the last 4 of the black-based Necrons. Not all the warriors anyway. But we shall see how it goes for the rest of today, and then this is an ashtray that I'm using, yes. In case anyone's wondering, I am using an ashtray. My mother-in-law bought me this, which is absolutely wonderful of it, and hopefully it'll work out fine for using the speed paint on. We shall find out in a moment though, but we always put some in for now. It's a crystal stone ashtray, so it should work. And I forgot to turn my hat around the other way. That's why I am now clipping the camera every time I lean my head forward. So let's turn my camera back. Good morning, Joey and Alison. No, I'm not still going, mate. I want to just come back live. But I had to stop these on Tuesday because my eyes were going all funny. Just focusing on these little tiny bits. So I had to give it a break, which isn't the best thing. But come back to them now, and then I'll be all right. I'll hopefully get these done today. That's the plan, any road. Also, I've got to try and keep quiet as well because Mrs. Lass is asleep upstairs. She's up nice and early this morning to see our eldest off on a trip to Italy. So she's extremely tired. So I'm trying to not wake her up and disturb her at all possible. Also, mother-in-law is here as well. So there may be a little bit of background movement because I have gone live early. You got the cat who's making odd noises at me, and I believe wishes to go out. So I'm just going to offer the cat a chance to go out in a second. I'll finish this one off and then you can go out if you want, kitty. Not everyone who was up at 3 o'clock this morning get some sleep. It's all cloudy here as well, Ali. It was absolutely belting it down last night, which was good. Took all that heat away. Cooled everything down nicely. So I'm glad it was raining last night. But I think it was coming down from the north, so I'm not sure if you would have got it. So let's just make sure he's got a nice glow on his eye. But I don't want him to look like he's wearing makeup. So there we go. Let me just go see if the cat wants to go out. I'll be back in a moment. Not the greatest way to start this, I know, but hey, we do what we can do. Oh, do you want to go out? Do you want to go out? Come on then. There you go. You go outside and do your stuff. So let's see what we had issues with so far. So far we have had issues with the office this week, and they let us tell it because they're blocking off streets and they are filming a new Superman movie. Oh, wonderful! Just what you want to do. Close off work, because some idiot wants to film. And an inferior version of Cavill. Because let's face it, anyone who's coming up now to play Superman, you're going to be compared to Henry. He's the king of the geeks. Lots of tiny little brush strokes. Lots and lots of tiny little brush strokes. And there we go. That's looking nice and blue now. Well, they can't really change anything because what they're going to have to do now is they're going to have to reboot the franchise. So we're going to get the destruction of Krypton, and we're going to get Baby Clark, and him meeting John and Martha, and then him becoming Superman. So it means we'll be starting again. So we'll probably get Zod again. That's one of the first type of enemies. Get introduced to Luthor, who's going to be a new actor again. Although that won't be a bad thing. I weren't too keen on the old Lex Luthor. I didn't think he quite played it right. Luthor was supposed to be, he was an extreme. No, and that didn't quite manage it for me. But that's just for me. And it can't be a sequel because they tried doing that when they did that Superman. Is it Superman Returns, where they say disappeared for a while and then came back, and Lois was pregnant with his kid and God knows what else, which we all know is not possible. If that was to happen, he would have blown her back out like a shotgun. As soon as the baby kicks, even being half Kryptonian, she's having ribs broken and all sorts of stuff. So that's just complete fallacy. And I know they've written Superboy in as John Kent, Superman's son. I'll get onto that comment in a second, Joey, once his notifications moved out of the way. All right, everyone leaves is a start in New York. I want to go from Cleveland to New York. And yeah, I'm going to make it big. I'm going to make it. No, you're going to a shithole of a city. It might be one of the most frequented cities. It might be a hugely popular tourist destination. But even I'm aware that New York smells. And not everybody's nice. And I've never been to America. So if I'm aware of it, I just dread to think of how bad it actually is. I bet it is awful. I mean, I complain about Manchester, but Manchester's nothing compared to New York. I can imagine it's insanely expensive. Because we're all rich wannabes, aren't we? Or I want to make it in the world and be rich and famous. So yeah, it doesn't quite work like that. Just going to a city won't do it for you. You're gonna have to have something that makes you unique and stand out. Which is why I've never thought about going. What the bloody hell am I gonna do? Don't want to make him look like in Braveheart extra. Let's remove some of that blue off him. Good morning, BC. Good morning. In fact, as it is quite an early one. No, I can't do it that way, can I? I've got to go in through YouTube and then go back around there. Right, okay. So I'll pop that in the comments, but I'm not going to pin it. And that way people can come in and on if they wish. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Steve. This clouds have protected me today, and I wore a jacket and a hat, so very little sunlight touched me. I was lucky, and yeah, compared to the other couple of days where the sun killed me off, it really did. I don't do well with heat. I much prefer it to be colder than warm. If you're cold, you can stick a couple of extra layers on. You can get yourself warm. I suppose technically now I tan in some areas, like my arms and the back of my neck will tan up automatically. But if I was to release my legs into the wild, these sun reflectors, they burn. They just burn and go white again. And by white, I mean camouflaging snow type white. Right. I mean, I had a comparison with Spencer when he was over here, and I didn't know Americans could be that white, but yeah, his natural upper arm was about the same as mine. So I can imagine he deals with the heat very similar way to I do, but well, he's there. He deals with it a lot more regularly. Well, he was wrapped up almost like it was autumn or spring while he was over here, particularly in Manchester, anyway. And a fairly blustery day, but it was bright as well. It was a weird one. It was a weird one. Good morning, Captain and Angie. Hello. Yeah, same with my legs, Captain. It's a bit of a not nice trait. Sometimes I would actually like to wear shorts on warm days, even though it's probably illegal for me to wear shorts, just because of how white my legs actually are. I feel a warning for the drivers coming up towards me. It's like, careful, blinding lights. Oh, we get love. We get love. I get love. It's just warning the drivers when my legs are out. It's like having a son. Yep, same here, Alec. Same here. I just realized I missed his power coil. I haven't missed them. I've done them blue, and it's just that they're going to be a bit. This one's going to be a bit darker than all the others because I didn't paint it white first, like an absolute muppet. Moron. Oh dear God, what was going on with my voice then? A little bit too much information there, Captain. That's actually quite funny, that Joe. Yeah, it's not just the Emerald Isle; it's British Isles. Any part of the British Isles, we don't tan; we just slightly tint. if for any reason people want the face cam up, A, you're going to have to let me know, and B, you'll have to bear with me while I go up and get chargers and things. I have not set my phone up. Mainly because it's in the middle of the day and there's a good chance that messages and phone calls and things will be going off. Not at all, Captain. You should not be moist at all after passing wind. If you are moist, I suggest you go to the toilet and have a quick check. Check it was a fart and not a sharp. I'll still wear jeans, but I couldn't wear a hoodie if it's too warm. I'll be a jeans and t-shirt with my cap on. Although, in fairness, I wear my cap. I keep looking towards the face cam, and it's not there. Yeah, I wear my hat pretty much constantly, whether I'm in the house or not, or I have my hat on. Going bald is not fun, and it gets drafty. His power coil's really going to need an extra touch-up. See, I've seen your legs. Your legs do not look great in shorts. You have a typical northerner's pair of legs, which is not short friendly. They are not short friendly. Granted, you do have some more hair on yours, so you can get away with it easier than I can. With my legs practically being bald as well as white. Sorry for all you ladies out there, but yeah. I've got legs you would never have to shave. Sorry. Essentially, yeah, 2 knots tied in the middle of a string. That's your legs, and it's particularly hairy, twiny string as well. You know, the proper packing string, where you could shave it if you wanted to. I wouldn't quite go that far, Angie. I wouldn't give him the idea of walking out thinking, "Oh, I can just get away with my hair." People will think it's pants. Don't give him ideas like that. You're walking around the streets naked next. Saying, Angie said it was all right. I've got enough hair. That's the coppers come up to him and go, it's still indecent. I was thinking of the brown garden string, but it's essentially the same stuff, just dyed, isn't it? It's like the proper old school twine. I think burlap sack type stuff. Just a lot paler. That's a great thing, Jarrett. I don't even have to shave from the neck down. No, I could. I have more hair on my chest than I do on my legs, and I'm not a particularly hairy person. More hair on my back than I have on my legs. Too much information, I know. Sorry. But it's out there now, so hey, what can I do? Luckily, it's only on a live stream. Probably better to put that information out there about 2 hours into a live stream, when nobody watches it any further, unless they're watching it live. Oh, I hate eyes. I really hate eyes. In fact, that'll be quite a fun one. No worries, Captain. That sounds to be the way, Ali. That sounds to be the way. Although I have decided I want to have a hair off between Captain and Steve. Just to find out who is the hairiest. Off initial looks, you would automatically say Captain. But I think Steve's got some secret supplies of hair that he doesn't allow people to see very often. I bet he could surprise us. See, and that's why I'm not using my phone right now, because I didn't. Sumai. Oh, you and all your fancy stuff. And Kirsty's not watching, so that means that I don't have anyone to remind me that I'm dropping off camera. Apart from myself, which is practically useless. It's like having a chocolate fire guard, but you still manage to put the foil wrap around it so it helps a little bit. Still not going to work properly, but it'll last more than 30 seconds. I'm kind of like that level of usefulness. It's an odd time for anyone in the States and over in the UK for this one to be going live. It's either really early if you're stateside, and depending where you are stateside, it might even be stupidly early. For instance, I don't expect to be seeing Dorito jumping in because he's probably tucked up nicely in bed, being over on the East Coast. Whereas anyone central and no, sorry, he's on the no, he's on the West Coast. Anyone on the East Coast and Centrals might be a little bit more palatable to your time scale. However, going back to, it is very early o'clock in the US at the moment. And some people, we got to 12, so some people will be hitting 7. If you're like Florida, Maryland, possibly even Cleveland, might be hitting about 7 o'clock-ish now. But anywhere further over, no. Yeah, see, 7:08. Thank you, Angie. But if you went over to like Seattle, Washington, which I think is on the West Coast, they're all going to be really early hours at the minute. And then I'm still another 3. Angie, something went wrong with your eye? I hope it's all right. Or was it just imbibing a little too much and you had a little bit of red eye afterwards? Hey, it happens. It happens. I'm going to change my brush over because that one seems to have curled at the end. So I'm going to use one of my expensive ones like an idiot. too many of these to do, but it should only be the blue today. If I can get the blue done. Basing, well, basing's basing. Everyone's seen this. Hello, Francois. Thank you for coming in. I don't believe you're the Francois that I know, but you might be. If you are, thank you for coming over. If you are not, thank you for coming over anyway. But you will not then be passing on any messages to Mrs. Laz, which is a good thing. I do have a bit of a problem. I don't remember many people's surnames properly. Some people's I do know. Obviously, it's not like I forget everybody's surname. But unless it's something that's really prominent and I see and use frequently, yeah, most of the time I forget surnames, which is why I get confused with people popping up in chat, especially if you have the same name as other people, then I really get confused. And Mrs. Laz is asleep at the moment, Ali, because she was up at 3 o'clock this morning. So she's gone to bed to get some more sleep. And I spent this morning doing a see how your kid does in school morning. So he's going through English with him. He's writing and a few other things. Excellent. No, it's all right. It's all right. She was up at 3 because my eldest went to Italy this morning, so it wasn't a bad thing that she was up at 3. Kind of needed to be, really. But it also meant she had the fun job of trying to wake me up. Which is a fun job. It is not a fun job at all. So, tracing these lines is not easy. Andrew, have you ever thought about giving this a go as opposed to like pouring art and doing portraits and painting and stuff and doing far better than I ever could? Have you ever thought about applying your techniques and knowledge to sculptures or busts or models or anything? Oh, white marble. Oh, Daisy, that sounds really nice. Except I don't think I've got the. Well, not necessarily I don't have the skill. Because I could have used. I think I could have used essentially the baby wipe technique of when you pull it out and string it out and kind of push it over and then spray onto it afterwards. I think I could pull that off. I'm just not sure how well I could pull it off on some of the smaller sections. It's like trying to get into the back of his thigh there on the 2 little things there, Francois. Yeah, I'm not sure how well I could do that. This set is, apart from them being silver and gold, everything else has been left up to me. Because these aren't my Necrons. These are, I believe, last time I did a day stream, Cam came in to actually see what I was doing, and these are his Necrons. I'm just painting them so that one day I might actually be able to play them again. And they've been sat in a box since 9th edition came out, and they've not been touched. Oh, they've hardly been touched. I think 20 of them got done silver. Was it even 20? Yeah, it was 20 that got done silver. And since then, nothing's been done on them whatsoever. So it's like, right, well, I have a painting channel. You have models to paint. Hand them over. Well, I've got paint all over that gun. I've got silver on it, and I've got blue on it now. I'm not too sure. See, the problem is, I've yet to decide what I'm doing with. I can't get that to focus. Come on, focus. What can I focus this without punching or hitting my microphone? That helps a little bit. Come on, focus, 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 focus. Focus. No. Essentially, on that one's a nice plain wire, but this one's got little indentations on it. Did it do his eyes before I put him down? Yes, it did. Good. Now, with Big Boy over here, I did go through and paint in the blue bits, except I've missed some. Obviously, it's the best time to find out I've missed some is when I've got blue paint on my brush. So I did go through and paint in all the little tiny blue bits with the blue glow on it. But they were much bigger than those ones. So I think I might leave them for now. Maybe I'll come back and decide I'm going to redo it afterwards. But for now, as there are 50 warriors and these are his basic grunts and his basic troops, I'm just going to leave them rather basic. I want them to stand out, but I don't want them to overshadow things. So when we get to Immortals, they'll get a bit more paint on them to make them look slightly more ornate. And then when we go to like Royal Wardens and Scarfet Destroyers and the Locust Destroyers, they'll get a lot more attention to them. Finally finishing off with the Cryptex and the Overlords, which are going to take probably a sitting each just to get them done. Especially the main Overlord. It is pretty much, Ali, yeah. Once, essentially, it's all it is practice. That's what my entire channel is about, is practice. How do you get better? Well, you do it over and over and over and over and over again until it gets better. See, I'm going to have to dig a load on a Space Marines out and have a look at the differences that I've done, or actually paint the second Phobos Librarian, which I can't even remember where I've put him right now. He should be on my desk somewhere. And that's a reassuring thing, isn't it? Somewhere. My desk looks like a grenade hits it every morning. But I do have a second Phobos Librarian. So I have a twin for my Librarian Ezra. So once I've painted that up, I might compare the two. See how much I've come along, see how well I've come on. I do have a mood ring on. Have you noticed it changing colour as it was green a while ago. It's also constantly black and yellow on that side as he's going. So yes, I do have a mood ring on. A gift from my mother-in-law, which I accept very graciously, as well, my mother is no longer with us, so she doesn't buy me this stuff anymore. So my mother-in-law's kindly taken up the mantle to buy me this type of stuff now. Generally, I don't wear jewelry because I find it gets in my way a lot, using my hands and either on my wrist. If it's a necklace, Oh, cool. I don't know, Joey. The problem is I can never see it. Unless you mean, well, technically, I do have what could be classified as invisible paint. It's called varnish. In which case you're looking about £6-7 for I think. So yeah, the smart ass question: how much is invisible paint? It's called varnish, and it's not that expensive. Francois, have you heard of Geek Gaming Phoenix? It's another YouTube channel. I don't know what's supposed to advertise other YouTube channels on my channel. It's part of the faux pas for YouTube, but yeah, YouTube doing the faux pas of their own. So Geek Gaming Phoenix, he actually does a few tutorials on how to make your own things like technical paints and sculpting mediums and things like that. Excellent channel. I mean, he's not done a video for a very long time, but the videos he does have up, they're excellent if you're looking for that type of thing. But he does make the crackling paste. I can't remember how he does it now, but he does make it, and it's just as effective, really. And it's using a lot of cheaper products as well. So, like in for instance, you've got an entire army to base, then being able to buy it in bulk and make it yourself does make it a lot cheaper. I just happen to have 3 tubs of Astro Granite and a tub of tea leaves and a tub of sand. The ring changes color apparently depending on my mood. So far it's changed color 3 times. It's gone from black to green to blue. It was black when I first got it before I put it on. It went straight to green, which is supposed to be normal. Blue says you're relaxed, apparently. I'm just worried if it starting to go a bit yellowish on that side. That's the way I don't want it to change. You want it to change, and then now it's going reddish slightly, and well, it looks purple to me, but it looks bright blue on the camera. So yeah, I'm not sure what color it is, but I know you don't want it to go black, and you don't really want it to go red. You want it to be blues and greens, apparently. So yeah, this will keep changing color as my mood changes, apparently. Well, that's what it's supposed to do. Quite honest, I've never used one before, really. I knew I forgot to do something, which is close off things that are going to leave notifications and blips and bleeps in my ear. But I can't, just in case anyone clicks a Discord link. Because then it'll let me know someone's joined the Discord. And welcome back, Captain. You have a follow-up question, okay? As long as it's not a follow-through question, we're all right. Okay, I'll get to Ali's question first. Is what beneficial for me? Do you mean the painting or do you mean having the ring on? Having the ring on doesn't make a difference. Painting can help me calm down and feel a little bit more relaxed. Or if, like the other night where I had to stop because it was I was just going to get frustrated with it because my eyes were going blurry, it can start getting me frustrated. The mood ring, I don't know. I've only had it on for about an hour and a half. Too many wipes is when it starts coming out red. If it starts coming out, if you start wiping off red stuff, then you've wiped too many times. So you want to make sure there's no brown and no red. It's a very, very, very fine little line between the two, depending on your toilet paper. Yeah, I generally go with if red comes off, you've gone too. It's too much, and you need to be careful then when you're sitting down. Oh, excellent, Francois. So you've seen Geek Gaming, and yeah, he makes his own. Made, should I say? He doesn't make them anymore. I think he's dropped out of the entire hobby entirely. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he has. He certainly dropped off YouTube. It means I'm in a bad mood ring. That's what that means. It means don't come near me. I'm liable to shout at you or lash out or yeah, I'm generally not going to be in a good mood if it's red. That's what he says anyway, because I didn't get a chart with it. I had to go look one up. So for all I know, I got the opposite of what I had to do. And blue's bad and red's good for all I know, really, because the mood ring color system on the internet might not have necessarily been correct. But it was the only one I could go off, so I don't have much of a choice. No worries. We shall see you soon. We shall see you soon. I'm actually making a dent in any. I'm done into this pile. I'm not. I can't tell. I really can't tell. I know the 10 at that side have been done already. That was 5, 10, 15, 22, 23 models. So yeah, I'm over halfway. I've certainly made a dent. Or a dent, depending on how your vocabulary flows and whether or not you put a U in color. Oh, if your ring went red, then that's not a bad mood ring. That's a not sitting down ring. And certainly don't have a hot curry tonight. I mean, unless you're into that type of thing, then crack on if you are, but crack on. But if I was you, I'd avoid curries if your ring went red. I'd avoid curries, how you. No jalapenos. Certainly don't go trying to put some aftershave on it to try and like clean the wound or anything. That's gonna sting. Oh, I must be sitting a bit funny, man. I was feeling a bit odd then. Yeah. That's a bit squarer and a bit straighter. Just to stop my innards. Hello, Kirsty. Hello, Kirsty. A very interesting stream last night. I learned about rules of etiquette and all sorts, as well as various different areas I could go to should I wish to partake. Not that I intend to, but now I know the options available to me. Ooh. What have you posted in there, Steve? Give us a description, mate. Just so we have some idea of what it is we're clicking on. Because I'm not saying I don't trust you, but yeah, without a description, I don't trust you. Yeah, see, plenty of warning. That's going to be a painful video. Send it to me privately, please. I won't be able to go back and click on it quick enough. or whether through Messenger, Facebook, Discord, whichever. Not Messenger, I think. Oh dear! Oh no! Why would somebody put chili spray on toilet paper? What kind of sick, disgust? Oh, human. Never mind. I just answered my own question. Blue. Yep. Blue. Anyone who does do this habit, I'm not finishing it out this blue. There is going to be another layer of blue over the top. It won't be happening today because I don't think I'll have the time. I still have a few things that I need to nip out and do this afternoon. But it will cut down what I have left to do on any others. So blue will be getting a brighter blue over the top of it, just like the Scarfet Lord did. Oh, I just realised I've really got to clean up his arm as well. I just noticed his claw hand is particularly bad with smudges. Can't do it right now because it needs silver to clean it up. Well, I say silver. It needs lead belcher to clean it up, or gunmetal, or the equivalent base tone. Yeah, I can understand, Steve. I can understand. It's both going to be painful and absolutely hilarious, depending on their reaction. I mean, if they have the correct reaction, then it's going to be hilarious. Everyone else is going to think, "You idiot! Why did you do that?" While watching him dance around, gripping his backside, screaming in pain, which is what any sane person would do if that would happen to them. There are some people on this planet who are not sane, so. Well, that's a very nice shade of water. That almost looks lagoon-esque. Obviously, it's just watered down paint. There's another one where I missed the power coil. It's nowhere near as bright. It was his wife who did it. I bet he's divorced now. And Captain, Savlon. Right. I was going to say, what do you mean by Savlon? I didn't quite. Savlon. Yeah. No. That's almost as bad as Gritty Swarfiga. Or TCP. Which I really like the smell of. I don't know if that makes me weird, but yeah, I like the smell of TCP. And Savlon for that matter, because it's got a similar smell to it. Yeah, what did he do for her to do that to him? Or is she just evil? I thought I'll play a really, really horrible prank on my husband. Because it must have been something quite egregious to have that level of response. I dread to even think what I'd have to do for my missus to turn around and go, right, I'm putting chili on the toilet paper for when you use it. Pardon me. It also runs a bigger risk in my house though, because we've got kids. So you'd have to specifically go up and get it once you know that I'm about to use it. In which case, that'll kind of give her away. And that'd just be cool if it happened to one of the kids. In fact, I would feel they would be quite just. Oh, right, okay, yeah, fair enough. Putting it in undercrackers will warrant a response like, right, okay, I'm going to make you wipe your backside with it then. Jeez, no. Just imagine having that stuck round the edge, round the rim. No. Darth Vader, that stand won't like that. Never mind the Dark Star. If there is some slight noises in the background, I am sorry. I'm in the middle of the daytime and people are moving around. Both next door, mostly. Really, Joey? Really? They came, they went, they left a mess. No, I wonder how this ashtray is going to clean up after I finish using it. Because I do actually want to use it as an ashtray, if at all possible. It's just that it's a big chunky one. I don't particularly wish to leave it outside. That's it. Just smack the light with the paintbrush. It's not like I need it to do this stuff or anything, is it? I suppose technically I didn't start with this light. It did just make it a lot easier to see once I got it. Oh, come on. You think I'd find a way to do this quicker, wouldn't you, by the time the amount I've done? 30 of the damn things at this point. You think I would have found a quicker way of doing it? Having the airbrush back would have made it quicker, so they could have just and then removed. But since that's not an option at the moment because my brother-in-law took it back, I'm going to have to do it by hand. And I don't fancy using the dip pen to do this, because as accurate as I can be with the dip pen, it takes a lot longer. Should I wish to be doing well when I get around to the confidence of doing freehands and putting embellishments and things on them, that's when that's really going to come in handy. I'm just going to have to one-hand it beforehand. Although if it's anything like your Andy Dick guest, Joey, then I'm sure he'd like it. In fact, actually, no, he probably wouldn't be aware of what's going on around him. I'm not sure that man's ever aware of what's going on around him. Dude's a total train wreck. Although his surname is fitting in multiple ways. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Square Table Degenerates does interviews, podcasts with some rather famous people. Whether you like sports, films, comedy, I believe you've done some political, Joey, is that right? Can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was more of a local politician for you as opposed to a world-known politician. And yeah, not long ago he had Andy Dick up, who it was that man. Yeah, he's just off the rails. I do sometimes watch Liam. I'm part of his. I think I'm part of his. No, I'm not part of his Discord, but I do sometimes watch Liam. Didn't his internet go down last night? I was tempted to go in and say my internet's still working if you want me to join up, but I had stuff to do. And I had a house full of people. I wasn't particularly in the position to be jumping up on somebody else's stream at the time. That's a good question, Francois. What's your third colour? I'm guessing you're going at least a 3-colour minimum, just in case you go into a tournament and you can score the victory points for it. So I'm going to guess you're going to go for the 3-colour minimum. What's the third colour you've gone for? And I'll see you after you go get your liquid lunch, Steve. So yeah, Francois, what's the third colour? Because that will make the difference. Because yes, you could go brown, but then you might have to go more orange to help balance it out. Or maybe a slight yellow to keep it within the earth tones. If you went grey, then really you could expand it into whichever direction you want. So if you've got green, grey, you could go blue, you could go red, you could go orange. Is Angie going as well? Yeah, possible orange, pink, yellow. It depends what the third colour is. Add it to hand. Are my Tyranids to hand? I just so happen to have done some finished my Tyranids not long ago. I say finished. First stage. First stage is done. So we just open this box and I'll talk about what I mean. Give me something that's been painted. Something that's been painted and is easy to see. There we go. Neuralixer. He'll do. So, right. I went with purple armor, yellow flesh. All right. Okay, Ali. And then the weapons are made green. Anything that was going to cause damage or could be considerably classified as a lethal part of the creature, I've done green. So that's what I did. Now, if you've done all this green and you're looking to keep it in the earthy tones, then yeah, possibly go brown across these and then maybe look at leaves, try and take the colors from leaves. Ooh. So yeah, I'd be looking. So what? We've got green, brown. So you don't want to be going that bright of an orange. That's just like way too bright. Good afternoon, Mick. That's just stupidly bright for the orange. But a pink like that, like, oh, that's what's that pink horror? Because it's not as bright as, say, neon pink, which is it's extremely bright. Or drop it down to more of a burgundy. It's called like a screamer. Then you kind of, it's still off-worldly, but it's almost autumny in the colours. Still with the green, the red, and then it will make certain bits stand out a little bit more. But if you didn't want to go that way, depending on what shade of brown you've gone for, you could always go with something like a Bugman's Glow. Keeping it, again, within those earth tones, just adding a tiny bit of the red into it. Or go for like a mustardy yellow. Heck, even go for a gold. If you want it to shine a little bit, go for one of the dark, like a Retributor Armor, or where's it gone? Or Balthazar Gold, which is, give that a shake a minute, because that is not mixed at all. That's it, which keeps it more in tone with the brown, but gives it that bit of a shine on it. So it'd almost give it like a metallic look to drop off with the brown that's already up there. But it all depends on your third color, really. But I would be thinking pinks, yellows, oranges if you've got brown and green. You could go with a blue, but you'd have to try and find an earthy tone blue, which is difficult enough as it is, with blue not being a particularly natural color. I'm not saying it doesn't exist within the natural world. It's just not as prevalent as some of the others. Oh, is that my liquid green stuff? Yes. Let's put the Indomitus box back for a stand on it and crush it. And I have to pay for all the Necrons that are inside. I don't want to pay for all the Necrons that are inside, thank you. Already bought that box twice. Go for it, Kirsty. Whether or not chat will know is a different matter, but only one way to find out, really. And that is to ask them. I'm going to give my own 2 pennies worth as well. As for, I mean, grey does work if you're doing brown and green. It's the 3 colours I've been using on my ruins. And the slightly greeny yellow moss goes quite well with the browns and the greys. So you could go brown, grey, and green. It would give you the 3 colours, and you could just do it that way. There are a myriad of different options. If you want me to take a slightly deeper look to it, join my Discord, post a picture in the work in progress, and we'll have a look. I mean, I think I've still got a couple of Tyranid models that I've got unpainted, so I could even give it a bit of a try and trial and error for you if you want. We could spitball a couple of ideas. I've got some Von Ryan's Leapers I still need painting. Yes, there is one. It's about half a mile that direction. near the fishing lodges. And I know me going like that doesn't help because you have no orientation to which way I'm facing, which was fully intentional. But yeah, fishing lodges near me, and one of them particularly is known in this area as the place to go if you're into that type of thing. So it also means it's the type of place I know to avoid if I'm taking the kids through the forest or, well, say forest, through the woods or for a walk out into nature. I know to avoid that particular fishing spot and be on the other side of the river and go around away from it. I know you was Googling that last night live, which is very, very brave of you, having that image, the browser filter turned off and not blurred. Because there was a couple of close calls on that one. A couple of things almost got through the cracks, pun intended. Don't be giving her ideas, Mick. I mean, it's a bit of a trek, but she might make it. It's only halfway at the United Kingdom, for instance. So it's not like you've got to go all the way up to Edinburgh. That's way too much on that. I want it to look like a glow, not look like it's been painted. Yeah, I've got the same problem, Joe. It's just like too much energy at that point. By the time you got there, it's like, no, I'm too tired now. I'm just gonna forward. I'll catch my breath for a couple of minutes before I can move again. See, I've also found out a little something last night watching your stream, Kirsty. That if I watch from two different devices, it can't tell that I'm not the same person. So if I have you on my PC, have the headphones in, have it turned down, but it's still volume. If I put the headphones on, I can hear. And then put you on my phone and go sit outside and watch it. It doesn't actually realize that I'm not the same person, even though it's logged in on the same account. You kept telling me that I was leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back. And I did test it just to make sure. I've tested it a couple of times, in fact. I've tested all that. I've just had my blue. It is there. Why can't I see my new librarian? Oh, because he's up there, that's why. Dumbass. Okay, in that case, yeah, go with the more earth colors, brown, green, and then I'd use grey. I'd use grey as a flesh tone. I'd use grey as a flesh tone and put brown as the weapon color, or the arms, blades, tails, spikes, just to keep it that nice earthy, down-toned. And then again, you could probably get away with just a sepia or a very light grey wash going over it. Sepia wash is absolutely brilliant for most things. It's Agrax Earthshade or something to that degree might be a little bit too dark. Although the camo wash should work quite well on the green to mute all that down. No worries, Kirsty. I'm more than willing to help people. With my slightly reawakened, and only slightly reawakened, belief and foundation in Christianity. I wonder how many of you laughed when I said that. It's like, you, no chance. Oh, so you're putting moss and grass. Then you might not actually need to paint too much, depending on how you're over covering it. If you're just leaving little bits of armor sticking out. So, I mean, I've not painted one on this base yet. So, where are you, Mr. Captain? Where are you, Mr. Captain? There you are. So I've not got round to painting the Tyranid on his base yet. But when I do that, because it's going to be a screamer kill, it's pretty much just going to be yellow along there, the purple along there. I'm not going to have to do much of the green. So yeah, yellow, 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 purple across the armor plating. I've only got 2 boxes of Leviathan. That is pretty much my entire army. So yeah, in this case, I'm not going to have to paint any green on this if I don't want to. It's going to be purple and yellow, and that's going to be it for the Tyranid. And with the dry brush that'll be done over it, that'll be it. It'll be do the purple over it, do the yellow around the bits that I need, a couple of little bits where it's growing on the base there, and then the rest of it will be done as rocks and gravel. So you might not need the third color if it's solely basing material that you're using it as. But if you was happen to be building an army and using spare bits to be basing, then yeah, obviously you would need the third color just for the army. And then it would tie in with the bases that are on the Eldari or Eldar or Space Elves, depending on how far back you want to go. Because they were just Space Elves originally. And then there's Eldar and Eldari stuff. Or Drakari and Yanari, and just call them Space Elves. Light ones and dark ones. And Kirsty is definitely the one who can find you those links to kinks. And if she's on farm, she'll find it YouTube friendly as well, which is really shocking. Because what I didn't realize is you get, shall we say, adult actresses on YouTube. I didn't know this, but apparently they do things called a try-on haul, which is them stood around in their underwear with all the bits that they're not allowed to put on YouTube edited out. And that's a bloody brilliant idea. I'm not going to be able to do it. Nobody's going to want to watch me trying on underwear. And if you do, then I'm worried because dang, I've seen me. And for those of you who haven't, be thankful I don't have the face come up today. Otherwise, I may be spoiling your breakfast. But yeah, it completely shocked me, that one. I'm not sure how I found that out though either. Let's face it, if I'm looking for an adult actress, I'm not looking on YouTube for her. So how I've managed to wind up on that one, I don't know. Blue, 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 blue. Yep, done. Another group. 15, let's go. Come on, people, we can do this. Drive through. The motivation is there. You're all with me. Let's get it done, shall we? Yeah, it's a very good idea. If you're not going to have safe search on, at least have it on blur, so that no images accidentally pop up of lovely ladies steaming up the, old gentlemen steaming up the window with a very specific smile and not the one on the face. Oh, I hear movement. I hear movement in the house that may not know that I'm live. So I shall make sure it is stated and said so they can hear it before they come down. So my mother-in-law staying over last night, and she's not subscribed to the channel, so she wouldn't have got a notification. Hopefully, Mrs. Ladd would have got the notification, so if she looks at her phone, she knows that I'm currently live. In fact, that might have been the viewer that I've just lost because she may have just logged out to move. Yeah, that's a good point. If you don't have the safe search on, it might not be YouTube friendly. I'm not entirely YouTube friendly myself, but I do try and keep it after that. I think it's so many seconds that you've got, so many minutes you've got before you can start effing and jeffing. I know I'm way past that now, so no problem at all. And as long as I don't market it to children, which, let's face it, I don't, because of the language that gets used on here. Mostly by me. I'm aware of that. A thin grey contrast with a purple wash. Where's the grave lord? So somewhat like that with a light tint of purple, which will essentially be those two mixed together. Tad bit of contrast medium in it, just to help thin it down a little bit further. And yeah, they should do it. If that's the colour scheme you look, if that's the colour you want with a thin grey contrast and purple wash, mix those two, a little bit of contrast medium, and boom, you've got it. You've got it. I tried using that grey for a black, and I found it was way too light to be using that. I also tried using it as a contrast just to try and deep recess some of the areas. And the claws would be green like the rest of the armor. So yeah, it's a very, very light purple wash. Should work. I mean, I know green goes with purple because I've used it myself. You just got to be essentially get a test piece first. Grab yourself a Ripper Swan base or a Termagant. Your bigger bugs will take a lot more filling in. So if you got Screamer Killers, Psychophages, and Neurotyrants as your big bugs. Got to remember you don't get the Norns in that box. Yeah, absolute horde of Gaunts, whether it be Neurogaunts or Termagants. Some Ripper Swarms as well, I believe, and Von Rein's Leapers is what you get in the box set. Oh, and your Wing Prime. But your Wing Prime's not actually that big. It's quite tiny. And I don't particularly like them. Well, I like the model, I just don't find it very useful. To the degree that I sent one across the pond to EB so he could have a model to put together and paint. I didn't see the point in sending him a painted one when the whole point was for him to look into seeing if he could paint one. So kind of pointless sending one that I'd already done. So I picked up a second one from the mini run of Imperium they did earlier on this year. That comes out in August, I believe. It starts coming out properly, so hopefully I can start covering that as well. I would like to start covering that if I could, but I just got like a tenner a week. So we'll see. I'll try and get as many of them as I can to get that covered, but I'm not guaranteeing I will get them all done. I won't mind running the mini battle reports. As well as getting the few extra models that you get with it, because I think I'll end up with a chaplain on a bike, which is a model I don't possess for my Space Marine army, and I would like to have. That means my captain on a bike can remain a captain on a bike. And I don't have to chop his head off. Put a skull helmet on him, and his arm off to put a Crozius in his hand. And I don't like chopping models up unless I have to. I did try chopping one of my Norm's heads up, see if I could make it into a Hive Tyrant using a Screamer Killer body, but it just didn't look right. Still got the head scattered around somewhere. So I'm doing that without a standard Hive Tyrant at the moment. Again, if I get enough pieces within the magazine sets, I may be able to create a Hive Tyrant, certainly a Winged Hive Tyrant, which is what I'd want. Because you do get a Parasite of Mortrex in there, as well as a Winged Prime. And that should give me enough to be able to go, yeah, this one can get off the floor with this amount of. Yes. Do you not remember when I tried to make my own red using pinks and blacks and blues, and it didn't work too well? Well, yeah, I use different colors. Generally, it's toning I'm going to mix, and it'll be ivory that I'm mixing it with. Ivory or black, just to lighten or darken the color that I'm using. And sometimes I will mix my own unique color up. The problem with doing that is if you don't mix enough, then it's a pain to get the ratio right again, trying to remix it again. So yeah, I have mixed my own. In fact, it was the darker of the pinks that I was using to do the barrels because I couldn't find my standard Mephisto red. Now that I've found it, I've re-gone over it, and even though I can still see some of the pink layer underneath, it actually looks all right. It has given it a slightly more worn look, which is what I was aiming for in the first place with the Monfan brown and the silver base. Okay. So in my now 3 years of practicing painting these, I've come to the conclusion that batch painting works, just not when you do it in such large quantities. So if you're going to batch paint, you want to do it in tens. You certainly don't want to do it in 30s, 40s, or 50s. That's when it starts getting a little out of hand. Bit too much. And you end up just with ranks upon ranks upon ranks of things to do. 12 left to go. And the scary thing is, it takes longer for me to paint while I'm talking because I'm on YouTube. But I find it easier to sit down and concentrate while I'm on YouTube. So although it technically takes longer, it's getting it done quicker because I wouldn't be doing it in the first place if it wasn't for the fact that I'm doing it on camera. Which is weird. So I have to do it the long way because I can't do it the quick way because I can't concentrate on it enough. And obviously having all you wonderful people in the chat room talking to me, asking me questions, typing stuff keeps me on my toes and keeps me here concentrating. Just paint that little bottom bit there, will you? So I can, right now I can do that. And I know that's cheating, doing the overspill and just wiping it off afterwards. Some people may call it cheating. Stuff. Yeah, that's what we want, Mick. We want stuff. Just stuff. Any old stuff will do. Just give it a, we'll have it. Make use out of it in some way. Even if it's just packing polystyrene, I can use that. That's how I made my hills. All right. Coated them in a nice big thick layer of wall filler around the outside. But the core of it is packing polystyrene. I say the core of it, the core of them, and I've still got 2 more to actually do. I thought I'd made 6, I just couldn't find the others. And I found the 2 medium hills, which are now going to be much larger than what I originally intended. I'm not plain annoying. Well, if I'm just annoying, then there's not much I can do about that. Also, there's nothing I can do about it. There's not much. Oh, see, now it's going back to green now, which is good, I think. Oh, that side's turning yellow. Oh, that's not good. Let's put it back to the green. See, that's a nice green. Shame I can't replicate that colour. That'll be a nice one to do. Oh, that'd be absolutely beautiful over the weapons on the Necrons. Shame I can't find that tint. Although I have found the other purple that I'm going to need to go back over when I go back through to stage 2 of doing the Tyranids. I've gotten up to tabletop ready, 3 colours. You can put them on the battlefield. You can tell which models, which units, which. So I've done the battlefield minimum at the moment. I've done the same with my Space Marines. So when I come back to them, I do actually now have the other purple, the lighter shade of purple that I'm going to need for the highlighting stage on the Tyranids. I do have a brighter green, with it being moot green, which is a layer green. It's a particularly bright one, so I've got the brighter green already for the weapons. I'm probably going to use ivory for the skin tones. Just really thin. I might even try glazing for the first time to do that one. So I will be coming back for a second run at them to add more detail and to paint in the bits that it's like you could have done that bit and you could have done that bit, but it would have had an extra hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 sessions, just going through small parts and catching every wire and every little nook, cranny, dent, crevice, broken cable, essentially anything. Just go for it all. And once I've done this circle, I need to wash my brush quickly, because that's going right up to the ferrule, and that is not a good thing. Thank you very much, Kirsty, and I shall catch you later, whether it be online or not. You know, if you ever want to send me a message, I don't stop people from messaging me. I do say, though, I may not be able to respond immediately for a myriad of different reasons. So if you've not got an answer back straight away, it's not that I'm not answering. It's just I may be incapacitated or busy at that time. Come on, you done, and then I'm down to 10 left. 10 left. And once I've done that for that last 10, all that's left to do then is basing for the 3 colour minimum. And highlighting on the blue and washing the gold. Oh yes, very much. Yeah. If you've got a couple of knights, do you mean they've got the big circle? They've got the big bases about the same size as the psychophage, haven't they? The big oval ones. Is it 160 mil oval? That size. So yeah, if it's just the night done on it, yeah, you definitely need something. That pasting's dusting. That's how long that's been up there. That's all that. Ah! You didn't see that. It didn't happen. No models are broken. We're all fine. Home cam didn't see that. So yeah, they're on about that size base as far as I'm aware. So yeah, you definitely need something on it just to help fill that base out. Stop it being as open, really. You could do it with rocks, but if you've got spare models where you can enhance it and kind of tie it into the battle theme, that's even better. The thing is, I've got Space Marines with Tyranids on the bases, Space Marines with Necrons on the bases. I've got a couple of old Space Marines with some Orc pieces on the base. So my Space Marine army can definitely call itself a Xeno Hunter. And rather than chopping up and using the Chaos Marines, I decided to put them together and paint them. So I don't have any Chaos Marines left to be sticking on bases. So no Chaos, just Xenos. Or Xenos. Oh, there goes my stomach. That means it's almost time for me to be eating something. What time are we on? 1:30. Oh, that's not too bad. About another hour and a half before I have to get off. Okay, I've just realised why I was wondering why my hand's getting so shaky. Why am I feeling so? And that's because I forgot about nicotine. Aspect strain that comes out as my. Nice. And greeting staff. You're not late. Don't worry. I've still got 9 models to do in this set, and then should I have time and wish to, I've got plenty of stuff I could be doing. You're never late. You're always on time. Cheers, Captain. I can't get used to these bloody vapes. They're not nice, but at least I can do it in the house. So I'll keep it for the purposes of sat at the desk. I want to cough more with a vape than I do with a bloody cigarette. It might be an age thing because I've smoked for so long. See, hollow field, I've never done a hollow field. I've seen people do some kind of shielding, or in some cases, almost hex camouflage. And it does look good if you can get it right. But I've seen people get it wrong. And if you get it wrong, it looks absolutely awful. So I would definitely be templating and trying on just plain plastic before I even attempt to put anything like that near a model. But that's just me. You may be a much better painter than me, Francois. In fact, I'm pretty confident that you are. The fact that you're even attempting to do a hollow field on your Eldar, and you're using loads of models, and it is a lot of models if you're going through the Leviathan box for basing materials. That's some expensive basing material right there. So I'm going to hazard a guess that yes, you are better than me at painting. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even attempted it. I thought you're just a lot more courageous than I am. Either way, it's commendable. Am I still green? Yeah, I'm still going blue. That's weird. I wish this mood ring will make up its mind. Yeah, it won't work doing that, will it? Let's try that way around. Follow the dots. It's not quite dot to dot. It's lines around dots, but right. Some skills just never leave you. Not that dot to dot's an actual skill. Hey, this ashtray is not too bad for doing contrasting or speed paints. If you've only got one, that is. If you've got multiples, definitely go for the pop-it fidget spinners or fidget devices. Those things are just awesome for it. It's tiny little, keeps it all separate, stops it from mixing and spreading. They are good for speed paints. Not so good for normal paints, but good for speed paints. There we go, just his eyes to do. So I'm using a 0. Okay. I was wondering why it was a bit big. I thought it was on a 1-0, but never mind. I'm just using a plain old 0. In case you were wondering, it's the brush size. I thought I was actually using a slightly smaller brush than I was. I have seen a set of brushes that are available, and one of them's got a 5-0, and that is just ludicrously small. It's about 4 hairs, and it's 3.2 mil long. It's practically a cocktail stick. Or the dip pen that I picked up is so small. In fact, it might be smaller than my dip pen. Even though turned sideways, my dip pen can go right along those lines without ever touching the side. Francois, if you're still there, can I ask you a bit of a question? Regarding the muzzles, now, I don't drill the guns out. Oh, cool. So yeah, you definitely don't want the bases to outshine. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was about to ask you a question, Francois. Should I just dot the end with blue? Or should I go with Tesseract Glow to make it much brighter, which is going to be the highlight color? Which is down here somewhere. Is it Tesseract Glow? No, Thousand Suns Blue. Is it? No, Temper Guard Blue. Sorry. She's that one. That's going to be the highlighting color. I'm thinking do a pop that, a little dot of that at the end, just little at the end of each weapon. just to show that this is where the energy comes from. I should have just leave it, essentially. And if you're thinking, if you just leave it, that's lazy, I do draw your attention to the name of the channel. And the idea is to get a good effect with minimal amount of work, which I don't seem to be holding up to very much because I seem to always find the longest and hardest way to do these things. That takes the most amount of work. But that's to get it done properly. So get it done properly with the least amount of work. To get it done properly still requires some amount though. Which is why the Necrons are getting based in a very, very simple yet shiny grey sand. And just throw a little bit of wash in there to darken some tones, make some tones a bit more browny. Depending what's actually on the base. If it's got something where it should have blood oozing out, then I can put a bit of red in there as well. And the good thing is, to take it, because it's a relatively flat light color, it takes to the toning reasonably well. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Just get it down, so I'm down to 5. And then I'll show you what I mean on the Thingy Law's base again. But he is, even though he's rather large, I've not put anything. I've not gone to the extent that you're going to, Francois, where you're obviously putting, in the case of a Scarpet Lord, it will quite easily take a gaunt on the base. You could even change the rock for a gaunt and have him stood on it. I think I do that too much just because I like the sound. Do power coil, and then do more blue. And the energy bits again, and again, and again, and again for the 45th time. Okay, you got a bit overzealous with the white, didn't you? Yes, I know. I realised I did actually use white on this one. And normally I don't use white. I don't like white. Pure white can be difficult to use. Can be. Not always. But even just doing the base lining for these was a pain with base white, with flat white. It just didn't want to cover. So it's showing up all the colour underneath is not what you want it to do. Essentially, yeah. Blown apart hordes on the gun sides. I mean, you can really just lather up the piles of dead bodies. I mean, use an entire use a 10 gaunt unit and just pile it up. Oh, so the Wraith Knight's actually stood on it and has been stood on that pile that he's been shooting and killing. That would be nice. That would be nice. Glowy, glowy, glowy blue, glowy, glowy, glowy blue. Glowy, glowy, glowy blue. 45. Who's been messaging me? No, nobody of importance. We're fine. I said nobody of importance. Part of it was Sinscape, who those of you who have been long-time viewers will recognize. Well, yeah, nobody of great importance. Or nothing, should I say, of great importance. Good morning, Blake. You've been about as long as me then, Francois. Yeah, I've got a few models that you might recognize them from how long you've been doing this. Like the 3rd edition Kato Sicarius. With his holding out his sword arm and his Stormbolter. Back when you bought Death Company in blister packs of 2 to make a unit of 10. It's gone by 5 bloody blister packs. You only get 1 Cold, 1 Knight in a blister pack, which sucked. When your mate was playing Chaos Warriors, you had the Dark Elves. The Bolt Thrower just weren't doing it. I like my repeated Bolt Throwers as well. Shame I don't have them anymore. They would be really nice models to have kept. My Cold, 1 Knights and my repeater Bolt Throwers. I mean, they're absolutely huge compared to the old models now, but would have been nice for nostalgia reasons. I think I've still got my 10 Death Company though, and I've still got Kato Sicarius and Terminator with Assault Cannon, 25mm Terminator with Assault Cannon, not the new scale, which dwarf even the remade ones, which dwarfed my original ones. Now I think even the League of Votan are bigger than my original models for Terminators. Which is saying something considering they're space dwarves and them Terminators are supposed to be 8-9 foot tall, genetically engineered monstrosities. Whoa. Let's go back as far as, yeah, we're talking Terminator. Old school Terminator. Where he came with a slotted base. Obviously, I've got much better at painting since then. So that's not really, I can't really compare that one with current day. But if you was to compare Terminator sizes, let's see now. Where have the Terminators gone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, you're the 5 big ones. Where are the 5 smaller ones? I'm a 5 small Terminators. Oh, that's a damn good question. Where are they? Are they underneath this? I've lost now all my old Dark Elves. Ah, there's the other Terminator. So yeah, just for an example, first Terminator that I got, the next size Terminator, and then they go and release these big whopping things. So yeah, there's a bit of a difference in size as they've been going on for the years. I do have some of the original Terminators. The next size up, which came out around about 5th edition. And then obviously the ones that came with the, what is it called? In Leviathan. Yeah, these didn't come with Indominus, these came with Leviathan. Let's put you up there on that road thing, and you up there on that road thing, and you back up there on that card thing, and it's that. It is. That is one of my old Blood Angel Death Company. And I've just caught the sodding thing with my hand. What are you then? Oh, you're the heavy bolter for the stern guard. Yeah, I need to keep you out. You're actually going to be used. So how is Blake today? Hopefully you're doing well, mate. And you've done your workout, you've done your run. You come back for a shower and relax. For what I'm going to guess is a visit. From a lady of some description. With you being that hunk that you are. They just can't keep themselves off you. That's a good question. If the white's giving you the desired effect, then leave it. Whereas the white was, in this case, the white isn't giving the desired effect, even though you can see the glow coming through there. So I have to tint this. So depending on the effect that you want, really. Unless you're looking for, even if you wanted a white tone, you generally don't just go pure white. You'll generally taper it off either ivory for a warmer color or the slightly bluer or grayer tones. They actually give you a better white, especially when they gives you the option to highlight back over. See, I've not got the Frost Heart Blue. I could thin this one down. I do have some contrast medium, so I could make my own contrast, providing I have the correct shade of paint. I could try making some. from one of the lighter blues. Do I have any Eldar left unpainted? I got the Void Scarred thingy box, by the way. Kill team box. So that's how I ended up with a few Chaos models and a few Eldar models. I mainly wanted it for the Eldar so I could use them in D&D. But I did end up with some left with holding guns, and that weren't going to be suitable to be used in D&D. So I do have some of them left. I might have to try that, doing them white and then pick one of these two shades, contrast it, and see if it goes over. See how well it covers as well. Three left to do. I've just gone over the 2-hour mark. So that's that plan out of the window. Just to get them all done in 2 hours. I probably could have got them all done in 2 hours. But this is me, and I get distracted by anything. The worst thing could happen right now is squirrels coming. So, jeez. That's me distracted for the entire afternoon now. One thing you don't want to be doing when you're easily distracted is getting a squirrel in your chat room. Although I do like squirrels. It's just if anything's going to distract you, it's going to be a squirrel. In fact, this entire meme set up around people getting distracted by, ooh, look, squirrel. Oh, just quote the channel name, hey, look, squirrel. Oh, I'm getting purple in that now. How many times has that changed colour so far this stream? It's going like a tiger's eye colour on that side. It's like a two-tone mood ring. One side says one sort of thing, one side says the other. I'm not sure if that's quite how it's supposed to work. But I've not put my hands in my pocket yet, so we'll see if it catches. And if it does, then it comes off. I am a man who likes to use his pockets. So if there is something that doesn't allow me to, I'm not happy with it. And before anyone says anything, no, I do not have holes in my pockets. Well, not my trouser ones anyway. My coat ones are usually all absolutely naffed. But that's because I put cigarettes out and then put them in my pocket. And sometimes it burns through because I've not put it out properly. And that's my own fault. 2 left. 2 left, and then I really do need to go get something to eat. Not sure what I'm going to get to eat. But I really need to go get something. He's gone beyond grumbling and growling at me, and now he's starting to try and eat away at me from the inside. Never a good sign. Line across the top, line across the top. Joins it to the other side. I've just got to finish it on off. Here. That'll do. That'll work quite nicely. That's the other good thing about having the camera, because it picks up a different light spectrum than I do, or than humans do. Not much for different light spectrum, but slightly. I get to see how certain things work and how it might look in a slightly different light, even though it's under one light. It actually under three lights, but that's not the point here. There's one coming from the camera, there's one coming from here, and there's the main one that's up above me. So a tiny bit of gold, mostly blue. Last one. And then a quick Google search to find out how many people make up a phalanx. Find out if we've got enough, or if he's got enough to have a phalanx of warriors. I still haven't found the answer to whether or not it's a battle formation, a unit count, or if I'm thinking of something completely different entirely when I think of a large cluster of warriors marching at you in a big block. And I don't mean the Roman turtle, because that's a shield wall formation. I know that one. Whew. Mix that up a little bit more because you've really dried out what you've been in here. Just so I can get the back of him done here. Come on. I don't want to be putting fresh paint in for what is essentially one piece. Oh, well, tiny little bit. I want to say having it watered down did help that flow a lot easier in and around those. Clean off the runny bit, leaving the front bit, yep, nice and blue. And painting his eyes. Excellent. So that is all 50. Now done silver, blue, gold. Washed, dry brushed, waiting to be highlighted, and then so let's just move them over a minute. And I'll drop the camera down. So hopefully we have a bit of a better look. There. So I've got to move this over this way. And turn you like so. And then move this as far over. So there we go. The gold does stand out a little bit, just not too predominantly. So you can still see it there on the chests, and it shines through just a little bit. And then obviously him at the back there stands out a lot more. Obviously he does as well, but he's a Gundam. He's something different. Scarfet Lord there does stand out a lot more than these do. Now, as I was saying about the bases, sort my light out. I'm going to bring the Scarfet over. Now, just to help tone it a bit, there is a little bit of black, a little bit of brown around certain areas. So it's not just a flat sand color. So I'll be using that over with a lot of them, just so I don't end up with just that flat color. How's that ended up in? I don't know. I'm not going to ask. So yeah, I don't end up with that nice flat sand color. So there will be a little bit of washing going on in there. However, that is it done for today. This is PVA gluing and lighter paint, which I'll probably carry on Monday or Tuesday, depending whether or not I can get it right or not. So just for a brief second, don't get scared. Hello. Yeah, so Monday I'll try and finish them off, and that'll be basing and for the paint, whichever one of these two actually works. Let's move that up so it doesn't look quite as odd. It's really odd. I don't know what's going on with this camera. It's not the usual camera I use. So yeah, one of these two for the highlighting stage, and then PVA basing it to do the base like the Scarfet Lord. And that should be the Warriors done. After that, I'll move on to possibly the Plasmacytes or the Immortals. I'm not sure which one I'll move on to next. But yeah, I'll flip it back around so we can get back to the models, which is why I am here and why you are all here, I'm assuming. So back onto that. Thank you very much for coming to see and watch me today, everyone. It's been enjoyable. It's been a fun stream, and I've had a good chat with all of you. Thank you for coming. First time I've seen you in here, Francois. Please don't be a stranger. Come back whenever you want. Joey, Kirsty, Mick, Captain, Blake, Steve, Ali. I'm sure I've missed someone. Sav, Angie. Thank all of you, every single one of you. Thank you for coming and spending your time with me, because that's most valuable thing you've got is your time. And if you're spending it with me, then I'm humbled. I am very humbled. So for now, thank you very much. Drive safe, and I'll see you all in the next one.